AI filmmaking has completely revolutionized how narrative filmmakers approach traditional filmmaking because as AI continues to advance literally by the week, filmmakers are beginning to see that the possibilities of the things that you could do in terms of narrative filmmaking literally become endless. And the most exciting part about all of these advancements is that you could start taking advantage of these awesome advancements and begin to enhance your filmmaking portfolio with this new way of approaching narrative filmmaking, all from the comfort of your home and literally for the price of a Starbucks latte. What's going on, everyone? Paul Donis Maximus here. Thanks for checking out the AI Filmmaking Advantage, where here our focus is on how to make and monetize AI film production. And I'm here to tell you that if you're someone who's just finding out about AI filmmaking, maybe you saw it earlier in the year and you were like, man, this is trash. All of the images look terrible. There's lots of warping going on. There's no way any of this could be usable in any way regarding narrative filmmaking. But somehow, some way, you started to notice that things have vastly improved from where they were even 3 months ago. You understand where things are headed, and maybe you're also starting to see that Hollywood is out and AI filmmaking is in, and maybe you're saying to yourself, man, am I too late to the game? Is it already too late to get started with AI filmmaking? Is it something that's going to be so complicated that I won't even know where to begin? Well, not to worry. In this video, I'm going to show you how to actually get started with AI filmmaking step by step, and we're going to be talking about the 5 things that you need in order to get started with AI filmmaking and hit the ground running and to start making AI cinematic films in no time. And real quickly, if you really want to get some quick inspiration as to what this could actually look like for you and your own AI filmmaking career, then I invite you to check out the Abandoned Films channel in order to really get an idea of what's actually possible with all of this. And one of their films that I'd invite you to check out is their Halo 1950s Super Panavision 70 trailer that they put together. I have it on mute right now because I don't want it to interfere with the audio as I record this. But again, guys, this looks very amazing. What they do is they say, hey, what would this have looked like in the 1950s if we had this technology and it was shot on Super Panavision? And again, they're doing some awesome stuff over there. They've almost got 292,000 subscribers and people seem to love what they're putting out. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and make like your own version of Halo or your own version of Star Wars. I actually don't focus on that at all. I love making original narrative content. So I don't want you to think that's what this is all about. I just want you to actually get an idea of what things look like now and even go back on their channel to see what their videos actually looked like months ago. Again, as you can see, as they continue to put more things out, the video quality gets much better because the AI technology is improving literally almost every single week. So again, just for some inspiration, check out a channel like this, get an idea of exactly what's possible. Now let's go ahead and get into the top 5 things that you would need in order to get started with AI filmmaking today. So number 1, you need to be focusing on image to video, and here's why. So right now I'm in Kling AI and this is what their interface looks like, but I want to point out this particular thing over here. You've got the text to video option and you've got the image to video option. Now, text to video is literally where you go, like it says, describe your ideas of what you'd want your video to look like. So you could type in a dog running through the backyard of a big family house or something like that. You type that in and you generate the video, and whatever shows up is whatever shows up. And therein lies the problem. When you're approaching this from a text to video standpoint, you really don't have any control over what the final output is going to look like. And to be completely honest with you, I've not used text to video at all in any of my AI filmmaking endeavors. And that's mainly because the technology has advanced so much to where you can actually go somewhere like Midjourney, which we're going to talk about in just a second, create the most surreal or photorealistic, badass cinematic scene that you could have ever come up with in your imagination and actually turn that into a video. And so that is why image to video is far more superior, because you have to think about this as well. We're now moving to where we can create consistent characters flawlessly. Again, I like to use Naruto as an example. It's literally the greatest story ever told. But the character Naruto is consistent every single animation episode. Clothing, the hair, the look, some of this changes when we move to Shippuden. But largely, even though Naruto has aged a bit, the character is still consistent. And again, just for the sheer ability to be able to take something like this, which was an image at first, and turn it into a video, this is going to be a much more desirable path than doing text to video. Because again, I actually settled on this particular image. After multiple runs, after multiple tweaks, this image that I generated is what I wanted to use for image to video. So again, the big difference is that with text to video, you really have no control over what the output is, and that is why you want your focus to be on image to video. Which brings us to number 2. The second thing that you're going to need in order to get started with AI filmmaking is you're going to need image software. Now, currently, as far as the most aesthetically pleasing photos, they've all kind of really caught up to one another. Like, I use Midjourney, but then I also use Flux 1.1 Pro, and then sometimes I also use Mystic, which is by Magnific AI. So you really can't go wrong with any of them, but what makes Midjourney the most popular is because you can really stylize the images that you can create, and especially if you get very detailed with your prompt. And this was something that I generated yesterday. Now, you're not seeing the upscaled version because this was literally just one of the initial runs of the thing that I made. And this is the prompt that I used. I said a cinematic documentary photo, establishing shot, a brave medieval knight on his horse, approaching a grand castle in the style of snowy scenes, Reflex 35BL camera, a Canon K35 prime lens, ethereal landscape, 70mm dedication, sunset, warm and vibrant colors, dedication. Now, that seems way detailed, right? And that's actually because I've spent money to learn how to actually prompt Midjourney, so my images are likely going to be much more detailed than what you get. But of course, we can get into all of that at a later date. But I just wanted to show you how really detailed you can get with your Midjourney prompting. And to show you what this looks like on the image to video side, I took the image after enhancing it in Crea AI first, brought it over to Luma Dream Machine, and I actually used the exact same prompt that I used in Midjourney, and I think it actually came out pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit of warping in the tail of the horse itself, but I'm sure if I reran this thing a few times, I could probably get it pretty close to not having any other imperfections in it. I mean, there's also this little flash right here, you know, like somebody started a fire or something. Maybe they put too much charcoal fluid in the pit and it had a flare up. But again, this is a pretty cinematic scene. So again, if you really want to push your photos in order to get something that looks a little bit different to where you can stylize it to where it's very different from anything else anyone else has going on, I highly recommend Midjourney because of that customization. And you can literally go to their Explore tab and you can type in something like cinematic, and you can check out all of the other examples of what everyone else is doing, and you can use this to get an idea of what you could do. And so I like the photos that look really good. And let's see, this looks pretty cool as well. You can also click into the photos and see what type of prompt that the person used for what they were doing, and then you can also kind of remix this and make your own version of it. But again, in order to get started with AI filmmaking, the second thing you're going to need is image generation software. And once again, I highly recommend Midjourney because again, you can do some wild and crazy things with the way your images turn out. Now, I do want to mention a couple of other models that you want to be on the lookout for. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm using FreePic and Crea AI. With FreePic, they give you the option to use the Flux 1.1 model, which is the latest and greatest one, as you can see right here. And Flux really specializes in making very photorealistic image generations, and the prompts do not have to be as detailed as what you would do in Midjourney. In fact, all of those things that you saw me add in as extras in Midjourney, you absolutely don't need to use that when you're using the Flux model. And via FreePic, I'm also able to use the Mystic image generation tool. Again, this particular image generation tool is by the guys who created Magnific AI. FreePic actually acquired Magnific AI earlier this year, and they are most famously known for their Upscaler tool. So basically, if you go to the Magnific AI website and you see what their tool does, you actually get that tool within FreePic. And guys, the Magnific AI Upscaler is the best on the market, like hands down. I hate to admit, but sometimes I find myself actually exporting the Flux images that I create in Crea AI and bringing them over to FreePic and upscaling the images here. As you can see, that looks very nice. But however, I will say this, and I don't want to get into the technical differences of these tools in this video, but I will say this. I came and upscaled this image that we just saw that I made a video of in Luma. When I upscaled the image here, it came out looking a bit more cartoonish. image. So the image that you saw in the Luma video, we'll go back to that right quick. I actually enhanced this in Crea AI, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the Crea AI enhanced tool, and as you can see, it remains a bit more true to the image that I generated in Midjourney. And let me mention this before I forget. If you create images in Midjourney, do not upscale them in Midjourney. So this is what I'm saying. When you create the image and you're satisfied with the image, Midjourney gives you the option to upscale it either subtly or creatively, and this just makes it look more sharper and a better image quality overall. And this was the thing to do before we had all of these enhancers and upscalers that came out that would help your image look much better when it comes time to turn them into video. Now what you're wanting to do is that any image that you create in Midjourney, you want to take them into either Crea AI, like I did right here, and upscale them. And actually, I believe I upscaled this one at 8 times, so it's the sharpest that it could get. Or you take it over to some place like FreePic and use the Magnific AI upscaler, which gives you multiple options. So you can do 2K, 4K, you can do subtle, wild, vivid. So they give you a lot of options, but you just need to know that the more higher you go, like wild is the highest, actually custom is probably beyond that, but wild is the highest you can go with their presets. It's going to get a bit more removed from what the image looked like originally, but sometimes that actually makes it look even better. And just as another example, a very recent example, again, this is a cyberpunk themed image that I created. It started off looking like this, and with each upscale, as I went higher and higher and higher to the highest, which is wild, you can see that she starts to look a bit more realistic. So, but let me go ahead and just stop right there because we've gone way too far in terms of the technical things that you can do with this stuff. Again, guys, the technology that we have today is mind-blowing. Your father, your uncle, your father's father, they would have never even dreamed something like this would be possible in this lifetime. So it's a good thing that you found out about AI filmmaking when you have and you're interested in getting started, because everything is only going to get better from here on out. So again, the second thing that you need is image generation software. You've got a few options. Right now, I'm currently using Midjourney, FreePic, and Crea AI. Crea AI also has some other image generation tools as well, such as Ideogram, and they also have the Flux 1.1 Ultra model, which just came out not too long ago. FreePic doesn't even currently have the Flux 1.1 Ultra model, so sometimes it helps to have multiple subscriptions at different places, just so you could take advantage of those differences. And guys, literally for the money that I spend on subscriptions right now, I probably spend more on that in Starbucks within a week. So it's really next to nothing to be able to get started with this awesome technology available to us. The third thing that you're going to need, as we alluded to a bit earlier, is that you're going to need image to video generation software. And if you spend a bunch of time on X like I do, it seems almost every single day, everyone and their mother is coming out with a new AI tool for text to video or image to video. I'm going to save you some time by only talking about the top ones out in the market right now. And these are also the ones that I'm using. And for starters, Hailuo AI, also known as Minimax, because I think the parent company is Minimax. So think of it this way. So it's like Minimax Hailuo AI, just like it's OpenAI ChatGPT, just like it's Anthropic Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So again, you'll often hear people refer to Hailuo AI as Minimax as well, but just know that they're the same thing. The king of them all right now, in my opinion, is what I like to refer to as King Kling. This is Kling AI, and by far my best image to video generations have come from Kling. Now, one thing you should note as of this video, Kling is on 1.5 in terms of their model. I also have Kling via Crea AI, but via Crea AI, you do not have access to the Kling 1.5 model, and you also don't have access to the lip syncing feature. So as you can see right here, if I wanted to do something like lip sync, then that's what I could do here. But again, it's not available within Crea AI. Just something to keep in mind. The other big one that everyone's using, including myself, is Runway ML, and their most current model as of this video is the Runway Gen 3 Alpha Turbo model. Now, Runway is one that I'm still struggling with at the moment. For some reason, even though I've used ChatGPT to help me structure my prompts in order to get the best out of Runway, it still hasn't given me what I want in terms of camera direction, in terms of prompt adherence. I've also seen others on YouTube have the exact same problem that I'm having. I've also seen the same problem on X. So a lot of times, even though the platform itself and the technology is super badass, oftentimes what you get from it is very hit or miss. And with that said, I've actually run out of all of my credits on Runway, trying to get it to work how I need it to. But via Crea Crea AI, I also have access to Runway. I don't have access to the Gen 3 Alpha Turbo model. So again, that's kind of the trade-off that you have to keep in mind when you're thinking about this. But honestly, the Runway model that I'm using with Crea has actually worked out a lot better than the most advanced model over here on Runway's website itself. So sometimes it pays to be a little bit behind in terms of the generations of the tech, because for the most part, the generation before the new generation is likely considered stable. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the newer model is a fast improvement on the previous model. But again, oftentimes tech companies keep those previous models around because they consider them to be stable. And the other top image to video software out there that people are using is Luma Labs AI, aka Luma Dream Machine. Now, Luma is very, very hit or miss in terms of the quality. Out of all of my image to video generations, this one has lagged behind all of the others by far. But recently, it seems like maybe they've been making some changes behind the scenes to where they're really trying to step up their game and have their software become best in class. Because again, not only was I saying this, others were saying this as well in terms of the quality of the image generations. Like this one right here came out perfect, and like that's one of maybe two, with the other one being this one right here came out very, very well. But again, for the most part, all of these other ones had been very hit or miss. It still can be great at times, but just something that you need to be keenly aware of. Hopefully they continue to improve on their tech. But here's the thing, if you want to be able to use all of those tools under one roof, then you can do that via Crea AI. And as you can see right here, they've got Luma Dream Machine, they've got Haluo, they've got Runway, they've got Kling Standard, and they've got Kling Pro. And the Kling Pro, that's going to be the 1.0 model. Again, it's one step behind the 1.5 model where they currently are. And I believe this Runway model is their Gen 3 Alpha model. So it's not the Gen 3 Alpha Turbo, but it's still been pretty good. One of the issues that I have a lot of times when I'll run these generations, they'll end up failing, and it will just randomly happen for any of these platforms. But then I pop over to the platform itself and generate something, and then there's no problem whatsoever. But the great thing about that is that you don't get charged for any failed generations, but sometimes it can be kind of annoying when you want to just go and be quickly generating videos so that you can walk away from it, let them do their thing, and then come back, but only to come back and find out that 2 or 3 of them failed and only maybe 1 or 2 actually generated something. But again, if you were looking to save some money and wanting to be able to try out all of these models, then you'd want to go with Crea AI. Again, you're going to have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of things such as how many videos you'd be able to actually generate over here versus going to the actual vendor's website and generating your videos there. But as I mentioned to another person who left a comment on the other video about that, the trade-off is that Crea is giving you a lot more things than you'd get at these standalone image to video vendors, such as, again, you can come in here, you can use the Flux Pro model. And again, as you see right here, you've got Flux Pro Ultra, you've got the Ideogram Turbo, you've got the regular Flux. You can come here and generate images if you wanted to. So let's say that you didn't want to do Midjourney, you wanted to do images and video. You can do all of that with Crea. You can also enhance your images and videos in Crea. And you can also come here and train consistent characters within Crea. And you will not be able to do that at Runway ML, Kling AI, Haluo AI, or Luma Labs AI. So again, you may look at the specs for Crea and you may say, oh, well, I'd only be able to generate this amount of videos, but if I went to Haluo, I could do this many. Yeah, that's true, but you don't get all of this other shit along with it. So again, just keep that in mind when you're thinking about how you go about this. I like to think of this more as a buffet sample. If you want to get a sample of a bunch of different tools all under one roof, then it's literally a no-brainer to go with Crea. The fourth thing that you're going to need in order to get started with AI filmmaking is you're going to need music soundtracks. And for me, the best thing for this has been Epidemic Sound. In fact, the soundtrack that you're listening to on this video is from Epidemic Sound. I've been using these guys for probably as long as they've been out. Now, others that I do want to mention that I will be getting around to testing out is Suno. And this is AI generated music. I'm pretty sure you've heard people talking about it. There's also controversy around it, but literally people are generating music with AI that does not sound too bad. There's also Udio that I'm going to give a spin as well. I actually started a trial with them and then canceled because the music that I tried to make was just absolute garbage. And I actually have a music background, believe it or not, but I was trying it. I really didn't know what I was doing. And then I was also getting into learning how to do image to video and was really getting new with AI filmmaking only a few weeks ago. And I was like, I'm not really going to have time to learn how to put together an AI song. And so I really didn't invest a lot of time in trying to learn how to do that. This is going to be more beneficial for people who are actual musicians who probably spend 80% or more of their time on music creation as opposed to filmmaking. I still see the potential in it. That's why I'm probably going to sign up for both of them this evening. And they're both like $10 each a month. So again, it's less than what I spend at Starbucks on my highly customized venti white mocha. So again, Epidemic Sound, I really don't have to think about it. I can just go here, I can listen to different tracks, or I can go to Discover and listen to different music, pick the tracks I like, download them, and use them in my productions. And again, there's no me coming in here trying to figure out what the lyrics are or, how to actually craft something together. Artists are already making the music and they're putting it here, and I just have to pick the ones that I like. So in terms of moving with speed, if you're someone who doesn't have a music background and you don't want to really spend the time learning how to put together AI music tracks, Epidemic Sound is going to be your best bet. And then finally, the fifth thing that you're going to need is video editing software. Now, I've been using Final Cut since 2007. I was first introduced to it in film school when I did my little stint there from 2007 to the end of the spring semester of 2008 before I dropped out of film school. And I've been using Final Cut Pro ever since. They recently released Final Cut Pro 11, which has a bunch of cool AI stuff in it. And obviously, in order to use Final Cut Pro, you need to be a Mac user, which means I've been a Mac user all of those years. I love Mac. That's not going to change. However, there are other editing tools out there that you should be aware of in case you're not a Mac user or you don't want to use Final Cut Pro. One really popular one is Topaz Labs Video AI, and this one also has something like a video enhancer in it as well. I remember seeing something like that. So you can go to their website, check them out, and see what it is. Now, their software is very expensive. It's $299, but the good thing is once you actually buy it, you actually own it. And I honestly don't know the difference between personal and commercial. You have to go and read up on that on your own, but this by far is one of the more popular video editing tools out there as an alternative if you don't want to use Final Cut Pro. Another very popular option, which supposedly is free, is DaVinci Resolve, and this is by Blackmagic Design. If you remember the Blackmagic camera, apparently DaVinci Resolve is from those guys. Now, I've never used DaVinci Resolve, but I know that it is very popular, and it looks like they're even showing some Hollywood films that were actually edited with DaVinci Resolve. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video probably are very familiar with DaVinci Resolve. So I guess it's safe to say if Hollywood is using it to edit their films, then you can't go wrong with the software. And again, apparently it's free. I don't know, I've never used it before, but the big draw is that everyone talks about that it's free. So definitely go and check out DaVinci Resolve if you're looking for a free editor. Again, if it turns out that you actually have to pay to unlock some more stuff, then I don't know. Oh, look, it says it right here. It's free to download, but if you want to unlock the DaVinci Resolve Studio, it's $295. So it's almost as expensive as Topaz Labs Video AI. And again, I don't know how much you can do on the DaVinci Resolve versus Resolve Studio. You'll just have to go look into that yourself. There's also Adobe Premiere Pro, obviously. I've never used Adobe Premiere Pro. I think I had it once in a bundle of Adobe stuff that I bought years ago, and the software was confusing as hell to me, and I'd watch people on YouTube using it, and I was like, I don't know how anyone would use this software. It is just so confusing. But there are people who love Adobe Premiere Pro, so that's one that you'd want to go check out as well. And then finally, the other very popular video editor that I see people refer to all the time is CapCut. Again, I've never used CapCut, but I see people singing its praises all the time. They're talking about try CapCut online, download, so maybe there's some kind of free trial or something. And now they're in the business of AI image generation. So who knows, maybe you can go there and then also do your image generation as well. So once again, we just ran through the top 5 things that you need in order to get started with AI filmmaking today. And one of the things that I didn't mention in this video is 11 Labs. 11 Labs allows you to create AI synthesized voices. You can see an example of the AI narration and its quality in some of the actual shorts on my YouTube channel. The most recent example being the one where I'm wearing the fake suits and walking around a fake city in a fake penthouse. I put it together to look like a fake commercial. But again, I went over to 11 Labs, used ChatGPT to create a script, and then selected a voice that I wanted to go along with it. I'll do a complete tutorial on 11 Labs in a separate video, but again, it's not necessarily something you need today because honestly, it's a bit involved. And again, you can see on YouTube that people are actually just taking videos and putting music to it. And we're back in the era of cinematic music videos again. Like, who has been around YouTube long enough to remember animated music videos where you take clips of Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and Kingdom Hearts and you put it to something like 30 Seconds to Mars from yesterday? That was before all of the copyright strikes and claims and everything on YouTube. That was very early YouTube. Again, I'm talking 2009, 2010 YouTube. Animated music videos was a big thing around then. And that's kind of where we're back at. But again, the end goal is for you to make a narrative film with AI filmmaking, and that's what we're slowly moving to. And 11 Labs is going to be a big integral part of that, along with the lip syncing features that you can do with Runway's Take One, and then also the lip syncing feature in Clean AI. I'm sure there's plenty of other tools that are also doing this as well, but those were the two biggest ones. And again, if you need to watch this video again a few times to know exactly what you need in order to get started, you'll be well on your way to getting up and running with AI filmmaking in just a few days. So once again, I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like this content and you want to see more AI filmmaking content, how to get started content, how to improve your AI filmmaking content in the future. So once again, my name is Paul Donis Maximus. Thanks for checking out this video. Please join me in the next one.